you? Welcome to Relate with Vanjudah. I am your girl, the one and only Nzima Queen, Jasmine Vanjudah. Today we're back again. Miss Helena Bentil, and she is a licensed therapist. She's also the CEO of Africonnect. Hi, Mrs. Bentil.
Hi, sis. How are you?
Why are you acting like
I am a good girl.
She's like so calm and zen.
I'm very calm.
Anyways, so today we are going to talk about toxic family members because I know you and I have a lot to talk about when it comes to that.
Oh, so we're here to talk about you? Oh, okay.
Am I the toxic one?
In the family? I think everybody out there knows
I'm
that.
the funny one in the family. Don't do me like that.
Okay.
No, but today we're going to talk about toxic family members and loving people from a distance.
Okay.
Because, especially in the African home.
Are you ready for this?
I am ready for it. Let's talk about it because it's needed. We need to talk about it. How do you deal with toxic family members?
Ooh, that's broad. Mm-hmm. That's very broad. Uh-huh. Okay.
Let's attack that.
How do you deal with them?
I block.
I see one thing about me, I do not block.
I block.
Because I feel like if I block you, you're not going to see my shine.
You can see my shine. So
on social media, I don't block. I want you to see. And then also with phone, I don't block because I feel like if I block you, you know when you call, it doesn't go through, right? But if you call, I'm not answering. There's nothing annoying, or there's nothing hurtful that someone ignoring you. Mm-hmm. So you call, it's going through, but I'm not answering.
Nah,
I think that's more painful. That's like the petty side of me.
But even before we even talk about toxic, how to deal with toxic family members, what do you define as toxic?
So anything that interfere with your peace of mind, anything that interfere with your peace of mind and your sanity is toxic. That's my definition.
Because personally, the reason why I want to ask, how do you define toxic? Because people may not consider certain things as toxic, but it's very toxic.
Give me an example. Certain things like what?
Like the basic everyday stuff, like stuff that parents do to your children, stuff that parents do to, other people. They don't consider it toxic. They consider it's like, it's the norm. Yeah, and Ghanaian parents, train a child the way they should go, or else they shall, spare the rod. Is it spare the rod and spoil the child?
Yep.
So those are the things that a lot of times they do certain things that is very toxic. And a lot of people don't understand certain things that we learn from childhood is what when we get older, it affects us, right? So it starts from the early childhood years. So then, but we don't define it as toxic, but we define it as normal. So I'm doing it now. Okay, let's say my mom did it. I'm doing it now. So, and it keep the cycle keep going on. Yeah. Right.
One of the biggest is it toxicity or toxicity? What I don't know if it's a word. Like I was trying to, make it into adjective or whatever. But one of the toxic classic example that I've seen in our community is comparison and abusive words. I think it would be really nice to say it in Chi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, nimbi.
Look at your face.
Like those words. Words are very powerful. Let me start with that. Words are very powerful. A child was told that she's good for nothing. As she grows, it's stuck in her mind. I'm good for nothing. So then every guy can treat them anyhow they want. Any female can treat them anyhow they want. Any friends can treat them however they want, because the most perfect person, the most person that they trusted most, which is a parent, told them they're good. If my parents can tell me I'm good for nothing,
then everybody else can say I'm good for nothing. But is that considered toxic?
Oh, yeah, honey.
I know it is. You and I both know it is. But do African parents, or do parents in general, consider that? Do family members consider that toxic?
They do not. But I'm here to tell you this. Every parent is the first. Let me do the opposite.
Cheers to that.
Example, if you were a man and you have a daughter, you are the first example of how a man is supposed to treat your child. I mean, treat like, you're an example. And if you were a woman, your son looking to you, right? And they want to be like you are the first woman in your child's life, your son's life. You know what I mean? And in all together, parents, You are the first model. You are the one that's what I think the Bible says. Charity begins at home.
Yeah.
I think we don't use that a lot.
But we use the children, obey your parents.
Yes, in the Lord. But the Bible says charity begins at home.
Please say it louder for the parents who
Not
didn't
from
hear it.
school.
Thank you.
Not from church. At home.
Thank you.
If you cannot take care of your ministry at home,
Your first ministry.
the first ministry at home, you cannot take care of a church, or you cannot go to church and worship a pastor, or be a minister at the church, and you're home,
Or holier than thou in church.
and your kids are falling apart.
Preach on.
Your wife is falling apart. Your husband is falling apart. Your kids are broken. But every day you're in front of the church, singing, preaching, doing whatever. But at home, your kids can't stand you. Because to them, you are very toxic. Let's define the word toxic. Pull on Google.
Google, toxic.
Let's define
No,
toxic.
because I feel like this is something we need to talk about. Because
Yes.
a lot of times African parents make it a norm that it is normal that I talk to you this way. It is normal that I do certain things to you this way, which is not right? But we have become it more of a, I'm training the child. I'm training them so that this child will not go wayward.
Most of them are not training. They are
But then
breaking.
that's what we say. That's what we've grown up with. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because I've had conversations with family members that like, listen, what you did to me has affected me. And they make it seem like, oh, like, it's
Get
okay.
over it.
Get over it. I did what I had to do.
So on Google, it says very harmful or unpleasant in a pervasive or in insidious way. So example, toxic relationship. Like that's the example they gave. So unpleasant. Let's use that word. When you come to me and start, let's say, I'm trying not to really, I don't want to offend, but at the same time, I don't want to cut around the bush.
Listen, say it.
Let me use a perfect example to explain that unpleasant. I know a family or like a parents who constantly keep telling their child, let me say it in Twi now, I'll translate it. This is her face and this is her demeanor. Like calling the child fat. If you are able to, you, my mom, supposed to protect me when someone is abusing me or when someone is uttering those words to me, but you are the one saying it to me. I don't know what some parents think in their head when they keep saying those words to their kid. And that lady will consistently keep telling the child. So one time I was with a child and she was wearing a sweater. And I'm talking about 90 degrees hot outside. And she was wearing a sweater. So I'm like, hey, I didn't even say anything because I kind of figured because I talk to her often. And then the mom goes like, what do you wear Jimmy on like a showy? And I was just sweater. Like, why are you such a fool? Why are you wearing a sweater in this hot weather? And she was like, I feel comfortable. The moment she said that, I cried a little bit, and then my heart was so heavy because it was deeper than what the mom was thinking. So then I held her hands, and I'm like, what made you feel comfortable? Like, when you wear this. She started unpacking it. At school, they call her fat. At home, she hears it all the time. Everywhere she goes, everybody is calling her fat. And I'm like, but why do you believe that, you are fat? The first thing that came out of her mouth, because my mom told me that I'm fat and my mom will not lie. So you see how powerful a parent, like you see how just that statement, because my mom says so. Not because my classmate says so. She like if her mom would have told her, you look beautiful, you look fine, and she go to school and her classmates are saying, oh, you fat or this that, she would tell them, oh no, it will not really affect her that much.
Yeah.
But she already been broken at home. The very person she's supposed to trust, that's supposed to guide her emotions, her physical, spiritual, everything, is the one that first broke her.
You know, you saying this, like, I'm like, crying. You know this already. And a lot of times we say certain, especially parents or even mothers, we say certain things without actually thinking. It took me a long time to look in the mirror. We've had conversations. It took me years to look in the mirror. Like now, you know, I always tell you guys I'm the Beyonce of the family, which, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I am. But no, it took me years to look in the mirror. I had a scenario like that. I went to Ghana for my grandmother's funeral. And right when I entered, it was a circle of family members. And one of my uncles, I still cannot stand him. I do not like him till the day I die. I will not. Started yelling, "You're so fat. You've gained so much. You're so ugly." But it didn't affect me. Those words didn't. But the person that was there that I thought was supposed to protect me just stood there with a smirk on their face. Because this person this person has always said it, that I was fat, I was ugly, or if you lose weight, if you're smaller, you look better, right? And so when this family member was saying it to me, and they didn't do nothing, they didn't
defend you, nothing.
They didn't defend me. So many, two other family members did the same thing. I remember, people don't understand, my Auntie Liz, I love her to death. She was the only person that defended me, and this person didn't. And for years, it sat with me. But people don't get it. Listen, words are powerful.
Very powerful.
For years, it's sad. Like, I couldn't even look in the mirror. Like, I'll post a picture. Like, I think your mental health. I'm going to post a picture, right? And look like everything was okay. But I was never comfortable because of those words. Not to even say just that. I've had that even with career choices. When I chose that I won't go to nursing school, I'll go become an actress. I had to deal with that.
We'll talk about that.
I had to deal with that. Career choices. Even my choice of dating and who I want to be with. I'm like, I have a type and I'm going to stick with my type. I've had to deal with that. But then you hear these words so many times. Certain people, it wouldn't affect. Like right now, where I am in my life and my journey and where in my headspace, it won't affect me. But a child growing up, I'm dealing with that.
But it affected you in the long run. You had to unpack it and relearn.
You know, but imagine if I
accept it.
African parents wonder why. People wonder why suicide rates is at an all-time high.
In the African community.
But we don't want to speak on it.
In the African community.
Listen, that cousin that died without you. Do you know how they give you? I know two people that had suicide. That's committed suicide. But they covered it up. They're like, oh, she was sick. She wasn't sick.
She killed herself.
She took her life. And when you dig deep, you realize it's like words that people have said. So not to cut you off on what you were saying earlier about, but words are very powerful. And I could agree very clearly with what she was going through, what the mom kept saying. If you're the person supposed to protect you saying this, then outsiders are allowed to say whatever. We are supposed to protect them before outside gets involved, you know. But we have officially become it's like the outside is only adding fuel to it. It's like we are the fire.
Yeah, you know the thing they say. I like proverb, but I can never say it right. I think they say if someone can harm you, it's coming from home, right? If someone can harm you, it's coming from home. The simplest explanation I always explain is, if my door is closed and I don't open it, you cannot come in. The moment your parent pollutes you, it makes you vulnerable. It allows others to come in. It allows others to feed on you. It allows everything that people say affects you. Because that person that you trusted most, like I said, has broken that trust. They have already broken you into pieces. So everybody coming is kind of like coming to prey on the pieces.
Yeah, they're feeding off.
They're coming to just feed off on that pieces. And it's like you want to get up. Even if an outsider comes to talk to you about it, the damage has already been done. Okay. You know what I mean? It's you've been broken, you've been hurt by that trusted person. So this is how deep our parents or our caregivers harm us.
Family members, uncles,
aunties.
Okay, so in this case, how do you deal with it? Because let's say if it's a mother, my family, I will block my mother. I don't care. I will block you. But somebody, I didn't block you, Mom. I promise I didn't block you. But no, I will block you though. No, but like, how do you deal with that? Because a mother, you can't block your mother. which you could.
Oh, yes, we can.
I could. I have done it. I have done it before. But somebody else would say they can't block a parent. You can't. Let's be honest. Some parents, you can't block them. How'd you deal with it?
Okay. I think we can start off by educating the parents, because the scariest part about it all is...
Are they willing to be educated?
Let me say this. The scariest part about this is we all going to grow up to become a parent.
You carry it on.
You carry it on. If anybody that knows me know I'm big on breaking the cycle. Breaking the cycle, that's like my vocab every day, my phrase. Break the cycle. We can only break the cycle if we have self-awareness. We can only break a cycle if we are aware of that cycle. Right? If I'm sitting here in this room and it's dirty, and I'm not aware that it's dirty, I don't find it dirty. And someone comes in and say, hey, your room is dirty. To me, it look clean. I'm not going to get up and start picking it up, because to me, it's very clean.
Fact.
You know? So until I realized this is a problem, I can't fix it. So I can sit and be like, parents, stop telling your kids this demeaning words. Stop telling your kids this and that. Someone is probably at home cussing me out. Oh, you don't have a child. Do you know what you are talking about?
Ooh.
By the way, I do have a child.
Even if
so I do know what I'm talking about.
No, but even if you don't have a child, you were a child yourself.
And
you had to deal with it. So because I've had that situation happen. I went to a friend's house.
Nobody has been.
I've had that situation several times.
It's not everyone who has been an adult before, but everyone has
been a child before.
Everyone has been a child before. So I might not know or have an experience to be a parent, but I know when I see a broken child, I can see, because I've been broken. I've been broken before. I've been a child before. So when I see that child, the child is broken. Don't tell me you can't tell me how to raise my kid.
Preach this.
You know, so I think that's the mentality that we have to first change. I always say this: anything that is not in the 10 Commandments, it can be unlearned and learned.
Even the ones in the 10 Commandments, it can be unlearned.
I mean, they say God, like,
it can. You know. There's a lot of stuff. Even if it's in the 10 Commandments, we can still learn it.
Let's even take it from the Bible. Anything that is not God, like, let's say someone is short or tall, that one you can't change it. I mean, you can wear heels and be tall, but that's different. But anything, a lot of things in this world can be changed. Like anything that anything that you were not born with can be learned and unlearn. Culture, you were not born with your culture.
You had to learn.
You learn it. Your environment.
You can change it.
You didn't come, you were not born with it. You came into it. Right? So that can be changed. It can be learned and unlearned.
There's like a Facebook thing that says you can't change your circle, but you can change your circle. Why do they say that? I can't change my circle, but I can change my circle. So I may not be able to change you as my sister, but I can change
people that I want in my circle.
In my circle. So yeah, it goes to
like
that.
You can't change who your families are, but you can choose your circle.
Thank you.
You can choose your circle. The fact that I'm your family member doesn't mean I have to be your best friend.
I have to even talk to you. I'm not talking to my family members.
You are if you are toxic to me, which is if you really interfere with my sanity and my peace of mind, you're going to have to go, because I love me more than you. And that's a fact. I cannot love you more than me.
So then how do you still deal with it? We're still on the whole top. How do you deal with it?
So how do you deal with it? So I think it's more of educating the community, making them self-aware. Because I feel like educating and making someone creating that self-awareness will go a long way. So as we are doing right now, we are educating the community. We, like the African society. If you can hear me wherever you are, I'm pleading. Those words does not make you a super mom or super dad. Those saying, like if you tell your kid, you were good for nothing. Oh yeah, boy, all these kind of words you say to your kids, it's really not gonna add anything to your life. No. If anything, it makes the kid look at you in a different way, which is not a good way. So just by starting to educating the community and letting them know, those words are hurtful. And this is what I always say. As a parent, look at you when you were young. There were a lot of things your parents did that you didn't like, but you're doing the same thing onto your kids. And that's because the cycle has not been broken.
You know, recently I was having a conversation with somebody and I was telling them, listen, you cannot change, what is it called? Sorry, my brain just went off for 2 seconds. Okay. I was telling a friend of mine that, what our parents are doing now is what they have taught them or what they have learned growing up. But I choose that before I make the decision to have kids. Because have you heard the statement, oh, my parents beat me, so I can't wait to have a child to beat them. Or even the one, I can't wait to have a child so my child will do dishes.
Yeah, I can send them around.
I can send them on errands. It's a what is it called? It's a mental thing.
They say it to it's like they're joking with it.
It's not funny,
but subconsciously that's what's gonna happen.
We need to break the cycle. We need to get help because if you think that you're having a child so your child can come do dishes, my dear, please do not have children. If you have a child like me, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I always tell people, I'm not doing it. Make sure that you are in a good mental, because you're not having kids so you can also beat them the same way your mother beat you, or do stuff to your child the same way your mother beat you, because you have to break that, or else there's like we'll keep giving birth to broken.
Oh yeah,
it becomes like a broken generation.
The cycle will keep going on.
Because we are what? Generations before us have done the same thing. We're the ones that we have gotten to a place like we're not going to do the same thing. And we want to break. But once in a while, I mean, sometimes when I make some comments, I'm like, ooh, yeah, I need to work on that. You know?
The example that you were making, like our parents are a result of the treatment their parents gave them. So they also transfer them onto us. And I always say this, not to excuse the parent from this, but I always say this. Like if you see this wine glass right here, it's filled with water, right? Let's say yours is filled with wine. When I ask you to pour into me, you can only provide me wine. I can only provide you water. That's all I have. That's all I know. So some parent, that's all they know.
Let's not do that. Parents use this excuse.
Let me finish.
Okay, because
that's all they know. But then I also say this. Nobody taught you how to have sex. Nobody taught you how to insult somebody.
You're the one.
I had to say, even when you're married, when you're a virgin, or your first time you had sex,
your
parents didn't take you to and tell you, oh, sleep flat, bend down. They didn't teach you all that. Yeah. You kind of learn as you go.
True.
And you got perfect. You were learning progress. You keep being perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I was using sex because that's more relatable to a lot of people.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then nobody thought you had to eat. I mean, maybe when you were young, it was like, oh, did you eat, whatever. But as you grow, you start to pick and choose which one you want to eat and
that's
whatever.
True.
Yes, it might be a result of that's all you know. But that's not an excuse. When you go to a new job, especially African parents, when they move to a new country, like those in America,
they
let me focus on them.
To do things.
You will learn. Nobody know how to do warehouse in Ghana. Or how to do home care things like that. But when you come here, you learn.
You teach. Yeah, you teach yourself.
Because you know you have to do it in order to make money.
But that becomes a priority to them.
You know what I'm saying? You have to do it. So the things that you knew in Ghana, you move to a different environment. We are in the 21st century, 2022. You are. Let me focus on those outside Ghana, like those outside Africa. You see different cultures, right? I always say whenever you go somewhere, pick the good thing from it and leave the bad ones. You see how other cultures relate with their kids. They communicate. They talk to them. They don't beat them to death. They don't yell. They don't say words.
Because especially African parents, you know, when you see, let's say you see like a other culture being bad. If this was my child, I would beat the child.
Yeah, I would beat first instinct, like, you know,
for me, I feel like if your first instinct was to choose violence, that's a problem. I understand there's some kids that listen, I will slap you upside your head. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. There are
but
sometimes
then most parents sometimes they over choose violence.
Yeah.
Like over. It's like your kids can't even talk to you anymore because
they are scared.
All you know is violence. I was telling my little sister, we were having a conversation about somebody we know. That even the mom, she couldn't even talk to her mom because every time she wants to go talk to her mom will like aggressively. There was something happening. The mom heard something. Instead of mom talking to the child, she did it. The mom locked that child in a room and beat this child. Like literally beats them black and blue because that's all they know. And I've noticed that it becomes everybody around this woman.
Pattern.
Oh, Bono, Beat the child. Oh, you're not beating the child enough. That's why you're not listening. The whole African statement, spare the rod and spoil the child. That's the one statement
It's
I
killing
promise you. I hate that statement with every being in my body, because so many kids now are internalizing, like they have to end up internalizing the pain, and it gets worse. Oh, my people.
So just coming back to, I forgot where we were, but just coming back to, this is all I know. You can learn. Like I'll keep saying, you can unlearn and learn things.
Yep. Period.
You can always learn and unlearn things. So the same way, nobody thought you had to gossip. But you're able to know, you can sit down about something and talk about somebody, somebody's
right
shoe,
there,
and talk about how somebody's hair is not fixed right.
True.
How somebody da. You know, you can learn it the same way.
Yeah.
Nobody thought you had to manage your time, but you were managed to do 2 jobs in one day. Nobody thought you that. The same way you can learn. We need to stop blaming. Oh, that's how I was raised and I came out right. I hate that statement with passion. With everything in me. Oh, you know, our parents beat us and we did this and they insulted us. That's how I came out.
They'll be like, look at how I turned out.
I'm looking at how you turned out, and it's disappointing.
It's so sad.
I'm looking, it's not looking. It's not lookable.
They're looking and looking.
You know? So like it's really heartbreaking. Like we need to put a stop to that excuse. I always say drop that excuse and make sure you break that cycle.
Can you love people from a distance? I'm the queen of preaching that to everybody. I will love you, but I'll love you from a distance. Like, but can you how do I put this properly?
Can you love someone and not talk to them?
Can you love somebody and not talk to them? And then also for toxic family members, somebody will say, because I'm trying to picture from like a person listening, like, this is my family. How do I, especially being African, you know,
we are very family oriented.
Because Americans don't really care. They don't mind distancing themselves.
They do.
Some of them. Because I know a few Americans, they don't mind distancing themselves from like parents that are toxic. Well, but us being African, if we do that, it's wrong. Right? Can you, like, how do you ignore a family member? Like, this plain and simple, how do I ignore them? You can't ignore them, but how do you ignore them? How do you still have a relationship with them but not allow their toxicity?
That's how the word I was trying to find.
I can't say it well. How do you How do you allow the toxic behavior to continue? Like, you know, the ones that you try to correct, you correct them, but they end up flipping their emotions and manipulating you. How do you still keep a relationship? Because there's one in my life right now. Like, I love her to pieces, but I want to love her from a distance, but still have a relationship with her, and you know, not allow her words to. It's like, it's confusing me.
Yeah,
my head is in mind-busting analysis, like real quick.
So, just a disclaimer right there. I'm not preaching.
So you're a therapist. That's the reason I want to ask you that part.
I'm not preaching to anyone to go stop talking to their mom or dad.
Stop talking to them.
Or anything like this. But I'm a firm believer of put yourself first in everything you do.
Amen.
Put yourself first in everything you do.
Amen.
Your parents are not always going to be there.
Preach.
Your friends are not always going to be there. Your cousins are not always going to be there. Your brothers and sisters are not always going to be there. But guess who's always going to be with you? You. That's it. That's all I can say. You are always going to be there. So the fact is, I don't know if it's the Bible or is a cultural thing. They say if one hand is bothering you or is causing you trouble, cut it off. Is it a Bible?
It's in the. I think it's in the Bible.
Thank God it's in the Bible.
I haven't read mine.
Cut it off. And just walk around with one hand. If that one hand can benefit you,
it's better.
Go on. You know, go on with that one hand, because let's say this finger is rotten.
You can't walk around with a rotten finger.
Let's say this finger is burning. My fingers are like this, right? This one started burning. If I don't cut this off, it's gonna keep burning. But if I cut this off, it will start to burn. Does it make sense?
I get it.
So the point is, as an individual, if you sit down and analyze yourself, and you have that cousin that you grew up with, but that cousin has become so toxic that whenever you talk to her, you feel like even killing yourself. Or you feel like you don't even want to get up from bed. Like, they take a lot of emotions from you.
It makes you give up on life.
You got to let them go. They're not worth it. It doesn't mean you hate them.
Yeah.
I have a lot of family members that I don't talk to them. A lot.
We know.
Plenty.
We know.
You know, I'm not proud to say I don't talk to them.
But protecting yourself.
I do check up on some of them, like, you know, maybe their birthdays, Christmas, but I feel at peace where I am right now. Anybody that knows me, you know, if you cross my peace of mind, you cross me. You know, I didn't cut them off, but I eliminate my conversations with them.
You limit yourself from them.
I limited my conversations with them, the time that I spent with them. You know, because if I'm going to spend time with you every time, and anytime I feel drained, it's not worth it.
Preach. That's the part. Drained.
You would talk to someone, and you feel like you want to scream, oh my God. If you have to do that anytime you talk to this particular person, they ain't worth it.
I have one. She stresses me out.
They are not worth it. You got to love them from a distance. You gotta let them go. I always say push them in the trash. You gotta dump them in the trash. Set them aside. Put them in that basement. Check up on them. You still care about them. Because the Bible even says love everyone, love your neighbor. So don't hate them, because that's when you become wrong. Like, I think I have I don't want to say psych myself or learn on my personality. You can do me something bad. Once I squash it with you and I feel like our relationship cannot be the same, I can love from a distance. I'm not gonna give up. If you need something, I'll still be there to help. Yeah. But I'm just not going to be picking.
I'm not breaking my back.
I'm not. I'll do my bare minimum. That's what I can do. Because I feel like when I do more, the more I do, you break me. Let me put it this way. If you have a relationship with someone in terms of cousins, friends, family member, mom, dad, and anytime you talk to them, or anytime you have even if you're being around them, it drains you. It makes you feel like you just need to go get some wine.
Yeah.
They're not worth it.
I have a family right now. I don't want to be in the same room with her. Like, I always either somebody because by the time we're done talking, I'm drained.
You are exhausted.
Like, I'm over it.
That is not needed in your life. You know, someone will be like, but I grew up with that person. People grow, right? We change. The person I was yesterday
is not the same as you are today.
I'm not. Yeah. The 6-year-old Helena is different from the 7-year-old Helena. The 29-year-old Helena
is different from the 30-year-old.
In January.
It's different from
the 30-year-old when February hit.
Yep.
It's different. 30. I know I'm old. Whatever. You know, it's different from the 30-year-old I'm sitting here. Like, someone that I was hanging out with, I might like what they would, like, all that they were about when I was 25. It's not the same as 30.
Yeah.
People grow. You can grow apart, or you can grow together.
That's true.
And that's fine. Like, if it's okay. I just want us to normalize that it's okay when you grow apart. You might not have, you can sit in the same room and talk about something, you feel like, okay, y'all about to break each other's neck. It's fine. Let them stay in their lane, stay in your lane. If you have to maybe come together once a year for Thanksgiving, for family, that's one day to endure. That's fine, you know. That's one day to endure. But if you can, please pull away. But it get harder when it's parents.
It really does.
It get very tough when it's parents. Like someone who is like a daddy's boy. I mean, daddy's boy, daddy's girl, or mommy's boy or mommy's girl, and their mom has become toxic, and you tell them to pull away.
It's a problem.
They're gonna be looking at you like, because I've had someone that came to therapy, and the mom was so freaking toxic, and I have to use that word, because she drained me.
The mom was in there.
No, I brought her in.
Oh, you brought the mom in.
Me.
Oh.
She drained, like, and you know, you've been through my session before. You know that.
Yeah.
I don't easily get drained.
Yeah.
the girl came back the next session. She was like, Miss Helena, I have never seen you this drained. I said, yeah, I might need you to pull away.
Were they Africans?
Very much so.
Okay, yeah.
You know my point. You know my whole therapy. I really want to focus on, not like I don't take non-Africans, but I want to focus on more Africans. But I was like, no, she got to pull away. She's too toxic. And she's very good manipulating. She's so manipulative. That's the word. She's good at manipulating. And I was sitting, my head was busted. And I was just sitting there like, wow.
This needs to be stronger. Because you're like, this needs to be stronger. Because you're hitting the...
You know? And I point blank told her, I'm like, hey, stop talking to her for a whole week. And that's how I get people to do things. Like, when you come to therapy, I do baby steps. Don't talk to her for 3 days and let's see. For her, I needed a whole week. I said, please don't talk to her for a whole week. She was calling back and forth. I said, do not answer.
You know what my therapist made me do? My therapist made me block the person. So what we did was they made me block, like, this was a previous therapist before my new one, but he made me block her. He made me, was like, block this person for, I think initially I blocked them for a week. And then we did a month. We actually survived a month.
The reason why I didn't let her block her.
I did that.
It's because if she on block, it's going to refresh the whole cycle.
No, the reason why it was blocked is then it's like their calls won't even come through. So it's like out of
for her, I wanted her to
out of mind.
cold turkey because she needed that. If she block her, she don't see it, so she thinks she's fine.
Okay.
But if she don't block her and the call is coming in and it's like a drug addict that you're cutting them cold turkey.
It's like it's right there, but they can't.
And all that. She was able to do it for a whole week. And I asked, when she came.
How'd you feel?
I didn't even ask her how she feels. She looked good. Her entire body, her skin was popping in a week. And I'm not even playing about it, like with this. Her skin was popping. Like
I understand.
She was, I'm like, how do you feel? For the first time, she was like, I feel relieved.
But then, you know, you're saying this about a mother, right? A lot of African mothers would be like, oh, you don't know my child. I know my child more than the keyword. I know my child more than you know her. She knows herself.
That's the reason why I brought a mom in. Because I was like, are you okay with family therapy? She was like, please. I called her mom. I said, hey, I would like to meet you. She was like, who are you?
Oh,
I was like, I explained who I am and all that. And then she eventually came in.
Listen, this topic will sit here all day.
Yeah. And then just to wrap it up, she talked about the girl. And I'm very observant. So I'm just sitting here listening to them. This one is talking, this one is talking, this one is talking, this one. And you can only fake who you are for so long. So I'm just listening. Oh, eventually their selves started like, indulging in. So I'm just watching them. Okay. They just talking, they keep talking. And I'm just like, okay. And I stopped them at some point, like, stop. She was still talking to mom. She wanted to prove a point for me to believe it.
Yep.
And I stopped. I'm like, what you do to your kids, it will not work here. And she panicked a little bit. So as we started, like, let me just wrap it up. We talk about it. And then the whole point is I told the girl to stop talking to the mom for a whole week. She did it. I didn't even tell her to stop talking to her for 2 weeks. I wanted to see what she can do with that 1 week. She stopped talking to her mom. And would text her on her birthday, call her if she need to.
Because what you're saying is not like, oh, just cut your family up. But you're saying to protect yourself.
Protect yourself.
Take care of you.
Because, honey, if you take care of everybody else and yourself is not being taken care of,
childless.
Who is going to take care of you? Your mom is your mom. She's an individual. Even when we go to heaven, she's a person on her own. The Bible is not going to be like, your mom is the reason why you were stressed out and you were cussing Pooh out. So therefore, let's go to heaven.
You're responsible for you. When you get to a certain age,
you are responsible for yourself.
When you get to a certain age, you're responsible for yourself.
The moment you know between the right and wrong, you're on your own.
In America, when you're 18.
Whatever that means.
But with that, let's just wrap up on it. Let's just wrap up. What is your final words?
My final words. I'm not saying anybody should go cut off their family,
She's
whatever.
saying block them.
I'm not saying go block your family. But if anything interfere with your sanity on peace of mind, you need to come first over everything. And I wanted to say you need to come first even before your kids. But I know the parents out there going to kill me. But I'm so serious.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
Even if you were a mom and you take care of, because mothers tend to do that a lot. We take care of everybody and we are so burnt out. Once you break down, like watch in a home, right? When a mom is not feeling well, the whole entire house, the mood is different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let that be fate and all that. Mm-hmm. And
it doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know, not saying fathers don't play an essential role, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We take on a lot of roles, especially women. Mm-hmm. You know? So if you are a person, woman, if you're a mom, and you take a day off, self-care. I preach about self-care a lot. Yep. Self-care. Find something that it could be just walking 30 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. That's a you time. Turn your phone off.
Amen.
Don't let the kids call you. Don't let daddy handle that.
Hey, don't say that. My mom is watching. I have to call her every 2 seconds. Calm down. Because when the moment you say self-care, turn the phone off.
She need that 30 minutes off from you.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
I'm sorry, Mom. That part, please ignore everything she said. She's speaking for herself. Hey, don't say Mom and Dad cut your phone off. Like,
you know,
I gotta call my dad.
You know, Daddy, sometimes you need 30 minutes.
He doesn't.
To do something really essential for yourself. It's called rebooting yourself, recharging. Just like we do oil change. Mm-hmm. Your phone, when you use your phone all day,
you have to charge it.
It dies.
Yeah.
Because the battery runs low. Mm-hmm. We are like a running battery or engine. We run low. We need to refill. How do we refill? Some people don't even pause.
You need to just.
Some people do not pause. So that's why it gets to a point they just shut down.
I think we need to do another show called Self-Care, okay?
That's really the whole topic.
But no, before I go, and yes, everything she said, it applies to every parent but my parents. Please do not turn your phone off. I need you. No, before we go, I know earlier when she came on, I said she's the CEO of Africonnect. Yeah.
She keeps saying the name right.
It's
like Africa.
Afric. Guys, it's spelled AFRIK.
Yeah, Afric.
It's Africonnect. Thank you for correcting me. But Africonnect, I want you to talk a little bit about it. What do you guys do in like whenever you tell business women to talk about their business, they talk like for hours in 2 minutes. In 1 minute.
In 1 minute. Okay. So Africonnect, let me tell you the reason why it was birthed to begin with.
2 minutes.
In short. So people living in the United States, we all know the struggle when you come to a new environment. It's really hard to navigate your way around. So what we do is when you come, like new immigrants and refugees, we just help you navigate the system. So we'll help you find housing, job, we'll train you, like build your resume, help you find a job and like an apartment and you move in. And then we give you like a span of 3 months to make sure you are set and all done. Mm-hmm. And then we'll let you go over the program, like, And then people who are also living here, the immigrants who are already here, sometimes people are struggling with rental, like with rent, with utilities. Many Africans do not know that they have a lot of resources in the community. And those resources are from your taxes. Mm-hmm. And those resources are from nonprofit organizations, just like mine, So we do have all those resources out there. So if you cannot pay your rent, there's nothing wrong with it. People go through ups and downs. Mm-hmm. If you cannot pay your mortgage, your rent, just come see Africonnect. We'll connect you to a resource that we guarantee will pay your rent. Recently, we helped this lady pay her rent, like the whole entire year till December. She's rent-free until next year, and if she still need help, we'll help her pay the rent till next year. So this is what we do. Utilities will help you find jobs. We'll help you if you have ideas that you want to navigate into a business. We'll help you. And we do all this for free. Wow. Because we are a nonprofit. The only reason why we are able to be being service or able to do all this is because people donate to us. So like we have a GoFundMe that I will let her put the link on the screen or whatever, or under her video, however, that you can also help with this cause, And then every month we also do monthly educational programs. So like last month we did interview skills. We trained people how to do interview. This month we're doing health and wellness. Next month, we're going to do finances. We're going to do mental health. We're going to do career fair. We're going to do college fair for different program. And next year, we have a whole different program coming up. And then the other part of the program, also we do, because I cannot have a nonprofit without doing therapy.
That's true.
So we also have a therapy session that we also provide therapy for people. So you can just reach out. We have clinicians, so licensed therapists who also will provide therapy. So we take insurance and we also take cash and all that. So this is what Africonnect is about. So we are just trying to connect all Africans around the world, or even connect Africans living in the United States to resources. So whatever your situation is, just call us. Our website is www.africonnect.org. Phone number 614-300-5791. And then our email is too long, but if you go on our website, you'll be able to see our email. Call us. Whatever your situation, even if you don't know we can help you, call us. We will find you resources. And that's pretty much what we do.
Thank you. You know, when you said rent, I'm like, after, we'll talk. Because I know a lot of us, we heard rent. Okay. Rent-free for, what is your social? Before I go, we heard rent-free for a year. We'll talk after, okay? Life is hard.
So we are on all social media platforms. Mm-hmm. We are on Twitter. We are on Twitter. Mm-hmm. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. So Twitter, I don't know that. I will give it to you so you can put
Facebook is Africonnect.
Instagram is Africonnect _
Okay.
Yeah, and the Twitter one, I don't manage that, so I have to tell her so she can put it on.
I promise. I will put it below for you guys. Here. I'll put it on the screen somewhere.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Helena, for coming and us talking about this. Before I go, listen, let's work on ourselves to be better. Let's work on ourselves. What we learned today doesn't mean because we learned it, we have to keep it going. Let's work on ourselves to be better people, love one another. I love you all. Thank you once again for watching Relate with Vanjudah. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.